Good day, everyone. Welcome back to Braveheart Nation. This is the Doc of Detox show. And today's show is called Incurable, stands for Limited Beliefs. And you know what? Before we go any further, I just want to say something, okay? Your health that you are experiencing right at this moment. Hey, wait a minute. The mood you're in right at this moment. The energy you have right at this moment. The pain that you're suffering right at this moment. It's all determined by your beliefs. Your beliefs actually create the programs that run you. Oh yeah, they run you. They can run you ragged, okay? Or, you know what? They'll run you right into the most beautiful life you've ever had. You have to understand something, that your beliefs make and shape you. And you need to really take a good look at your parents. Because guess what? Whether you want to believe it or not, you are your parents. You're a mixture of both of them. Which one did you focus on the most? And understand something. God love your parents. I love my parents. But I will tell you, they had a lot of dysfunction. I mean, I proved that in the first quarter of my life. I was so dysfunctional, okay? If I would have gotten a chronic disease or a life-debilitating disease in the first quarter of my life, okay, I probably would not have come back from it, or it probably would have almost taken me down, because your beliefs are everything. You know, you can believe this or not believe this, but you know, I've been doing health now for almost 40 years. And I will tell you right now that I can get a phone call from a cancer patient and know if they're going to turn that cancer around, or if that cancer is going to be with them for a long period of time and they're going to struggle, or if that cancer is going to take them down. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not a game for me. It's not a game where I sit back and go, oh, yeah. But the reality is that your beliefs do make and shape you, and that every cell in your body, okay, has consciousness. And every cell in your body has picked up those beliefs and holds those prominent vibrations, which are frequencies, yeah, that orchestrate everything. I know. It's really amazing, you know. You take a look at medical science, okay? And they work off a whole different spectrum than I believe in, okay? They work off a genome that says that your DNA, okay, is established, and that's going to just tell you whether you're going to be sick or not. When actually we know that scientifically that's not true. We know that the mitochondrial genome, which is epigenetics, is the only thing that's really going to decide, all right? So you need to understand something today. The mind that you have right now, it can be a landmine, or it can be something that's going to create magic and beauty throughout your day. And understand, we are open for questions today. I'm going to be taking questions in a few minutes. I want to go through a couple things to set the stage though first. And the other thing too is last week, believe it or not, we couldn't get on Facebook. There was no Facebook Live. This week, there was no YouTube Live. So, you know, it's like they're taking turns with us. I'm not sure what they're doing, but that's why we were late coming on. And I really would like things to smooth out. But guess what? No matter how things go in life, those bumps in the road, you got to breathe, you got to stay connected, and you just got to know something. You got to be in charge. So if you haven't learned how to master your mind, you're never going to master your body. So you're never going to master your health, and you're never going to master anything else, even your wealth. And remember something, the greatest relationship that you will ever have is with yourself before anybody else. Listen, if you don't enjoy being with yourself more than anybody else, you got a problem. And a lot of people think I'm crazy when I say this, okay? This is not about being selfish. This is about being centered in yourself and realizing what you need to maintain that vibrant, beautiful body of yours, okay? All right, so before we get started, tomorrow I'm going to be doing the blue light 5G toxicity. It's a 2-part documentary. And if you can't watch it, it starts at 3, and it's on Wednesday and it's on Thursday, so it'll be on the 15th and the 16th. All right? And if you can't watch it, you can watch it later on Facebook or YouTube or docofdetoxshow.com. And on Friday, the 21st, we're going to be doing the blue light Q&A. All right. And just so everybody knows, tomorrow we'll also be letting you know that a lot of the things that we utilize in our practice, okay, to help to protect us against blue light and 5G, we will be having a sale on these items. So if you've always wanted to buy them, you might want to do that, okay? Also, St. Petersburg, Florida, we have 3 more spots left. That's it for the whole training. It starts off on June the 9th, and we'll be doing the Whole Life Coach till the 15th. The Wolfe Deep Tissue will be on the 17th to the 23rd. The Wolfe Non-Surgical from the 26th to the 29th, okay? All right, so what I'd like to do right now is I want to play an audio for you. Josh, could you start it, please?
Greg started probably almost 5 years ago now, noticing some weakening in his hands and a little trouble breathing. It was almost a year before we received the diagnosis of ALS.
Can you pause it for a second, Josh? So understand something. This is Debbie and Greg, okay? He's got ALS, okay? So ALS is what? It's an incurable, okay? And listen to what they were told and listen to what they're doing now and understand something, okay? Like I said, this show's all about is that incurable is just a belief. So you need to understand that, all right? And you got to understand that even the people who say it, most of them don't even believe when they're saying that it's an incurable. And if they are saying that, then they don't even know who they are. Okay? So you're going to I want you to understand that here's a couple that believed that ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease, right? That the husband had no way out and it was just downhill from here. So let's set the pace. Okay, here we go.
And the wonderful thing about that disease is they're extremely honest with you. When they give you the diagnosis, they tell you today is the best day of the rest of your life. Every day it's going to get worse and you're going to get weaker and weaker. It's been an amazing ride because as he's continued to get weaker and weaker, we found you in December. And at that point, he was in a state where he could not move any of his extremities, no hands, no fingers, no arms.
Trouble holding my head up.
Yes, and he had trouble holding his head up. Within 5 days, there was strength in the neck.
Can you pause it? Okay, so here's a disease that today's the best day that you're ever going to have in your life. And from here, we're going downhill. Now, remember something. This is one of the worst diseases that you can get. I know you may not believe this, but it's worse than cancer. In what they tell you statistically on what you can do with it. So the reality is that 5 days into the protocol that we do, okay, he starts having movement. Go ahead, Josh.
A week and a half, we noticed movement in the fingers. In January, about the 10th, we started noticing movement in his feet, which we haven't seen any of that since probably August. In the beginning, we noticed trouble breathing. He went snorkeling and had trouble in the ocean. Didn't seem to have enough strength to breathe. Then he was always extremely active and very fit. So all of a sudden, one morning, he couldn't open the peanut butter jar, and little things like that just were out of character.
Can you pause it? Okay. All right. So here it is. How about limiting beliefs here? Do you know what limiting beliefs do? I'll tell you what they do. Until somebody gets really sick in your family, nobody thinks about health. Then when somebody gets really sick in your family, everybody runs around so fearful that they actually make the person who's sick even sicker. How's that for limiting beliefs? So there's the incurable part. Are you actually curable? You're not curable until you take a look at your beliefs and you actually retrain your brain. So that's the bottom deal. So, you might not get this, but you are a robot, okay? When you take a look at the things that you do every day without any thought, any real consciousness, okay, then you're going to find out that 90% of your day is there. So you're either going to take massive action and do something like at least start off with the 12 loving steps, Braveheart steps on our library. It's a video. You just have to sit there and watch it and then read the Braveheart book. And then actually start doing some of those 12 steps. And then if you believe that you deserve it, then opt in and get Braveheart. Braveheart's only like $97. And Braveheart is a lifetime membership. Okay. And it's got 32 hours of training on there. You know, when you actually get in and you do something and you do take massive action, do you ever notice how your life changes? And if you're sitting there and you're comparing, oh, well, the average person with my condition lives this long, or the average person with my condition doesn't survive at all, they only have a 2% survival rate. Well, you know, like cancer after chemo is only 2.23, but that's only if you decide to become a statistic. I mean, if you're not going to do what the majority do, then statistics will never matter to you because you've just changed a major belief. And that is I'm not opting in to what the majority believe in. Listen, I'm not going to opt into anything the majority believes in. I'm not even going to do anything the majority believes in because the majority are in big trouble. And we already know that. I didn't make it up, right? So here's a family that just before they met us, they actually have Greg, okay, the wife has Greg going somewhere where they can look after him for the last weeks that he's going to be alive. Josh?
Then it got worse. We went to a number of different doctors, and it was me who finally said, I think this is what it is, just with what's going on. I don't know why the doctors aren't telling us. So we ended up having to leave Canada and go down to the States for diagnosis because here they wouldn't even run tests on them. So we went down to the States, and within a month we had the diagnosis.
Once we had the diagnosis from the American side, then they started listening to us up here.
And then
can you stop that, Josh?
We changed.
You question authority. You question me. You question anybody else that you put in charge of your body. Okay? Why don't we question things? I mean, nobody questions authority. Nobody questions the things they do. You know, why don't you look at first trying to create the perfect day in every way from the minute you wake up on an emotional, physical, and spiritual level before you opt in to surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, heavy-duty drugs? I mean, we have totally taken on the belief that the body can't heal itself. And the other thing is this. I have so many people that say, well, Jesus will heal me. God will heal me. Really? Okay. All right. Okay. Well, just know that I believe as well. I was raised a Christian. Okay. And I believe in God. But I also know that it's teamwork that makes the dream work. And I'll think what really is a dysfunctional belief is that you think you can sit on your hands or get on your knees and just pray and it's going to happen. You know, when a bunch of people come together and they pray, they can create a beautiful vibration. My daughter Genevieve wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for prayer. So understand that. I know that. But I also know that we have to, as parents, as loved ones, and the person who's sick must become the Braveheart hero. I mean, there are so many people that I work with that are running such a victim belief. And I'm telling you, unless you believe that you're worth healing, that you're worth loving, okay? But that's got to come from you for you. I can't give that to you. No one else is going to give that to you. Yeah, love is the highest vibration in the universe. And I'm telling you, without self-love on this planet, it's not going to work because love is not the answer on this planet. Everybody talks around about love. Love this, love that, love this, love that. How many people are walking around with broken hearts, empty hearts? Okay, heart disease. Well, what do you think that comes from? That's a broken heart. Remember something, that your beliefs and your personality creates your reality, which creates your dis-ease. Keep playing it, will you, Josh?
We've been proactive in fighting it as much as we could. We got to a place last November where the breathing tests had come back at under 30% to lung capacity and those kind of things. They told us to prepare. He was in his last 3 months of life. So all the way through here, we've been diligent in exercising the body as much as we can, range of motion and those kind of things.
And the ALS Society is trying to discourage me from exercising.
Can you stop, Josh? I'm going to tell you something right now. How many people do you know that have chronic diseases and the food they eat is not healthy? All right, so it's like this. The more you cook, the worse you look. The more you fry, the sooner you die. All right? I mean, life gives life. Why aren't these organizations teaching these people about whole plant-based foods? I mean, and why isn't bowel movements being a consideration? You can tell when people are on their way out. They can't poop, they can't pee. And if they do poop, they have a problem pooping. And they have a problem peeing. And understand, if you have a problem peeing and your flow is getting worse and your urination is getting worse, you're on your way out. You heard what I said. If you're having trouble pooping or you get blistering diarrhea and then constipation, you're on your way out too. You heard what I said. 85% of your immune system is in your large intestine. You know, some people think I talk harshly, or what's wrong with him? Is he upset? Well, if the rest of the people were really talking about what really matters, then I wouldn't stand out, would I? And guess what? If you're not willing to stand out, then don't look for outstanding health. If you're not willing to stand out and break away from the herd, don't think you're going to cure yourself of anything. You are the cure. I'm not the cure. You're the cure. So you know what? How many people will spend $40,000 and go to a cancer clinic or travel here or travel there, but they don't get it together in their home. They don't make their home a love health zone. They don't. Yeah. What if you could learn the best body work in the world and learn how to master your mind, and you learned about the most highest frequency nutrition in the world? Well, what did Hippocrates say? Unless you become your own doctor, you're your own fool. Josh, can you play, please?
Telling me that as long as I'm exercising, I'm just going to wear those muscles out quicker.
Seeing him being able to just hold his head up off the pillow was amazing.
Josh, do you want to stop it? Why would you tell someone, okay, that's in a wheelchair, that can hardly move, not to move? I mean, who are these people? Okay, what are these organizations? And take it or leave it, okay? You can run for the cure, jump for the cure, swim for the cure, cut your hair for the cure, do what you want to do, okay? I know everybody wants to be part of something, but guess what? If you're running and jumping and cutting your hair for the cure, what does that tell you about medical science? That means they don't want to find it. They don't want to find it because it's already found. That would be you. That would be you embracing nature. That would be you embracing, if you have belief, embracing that, your creator, and knowing that your creator is only totally crazy in love with you. And if you don't believe that your creator is totally in love with you, crazy in love with you, and you think that you're a sinner, well, you're toast already. And then what does sin mean? Well, sin means missing the mark. So all you're doing is missing the mark. But no, you've got one religion, they've got 50 rules. Another religion, they got 10 rules. But let me tell you something. When's the last time that judging yourself made you healthier? What? You believe that if you judge yourself, you're going to get a better place in heaven? You believe if you judge yourself, you're going to get off the hook? That's called putting yourself on the meat hook. You have to learn how to forgive yourself. You totally have to learn how to forgive yourself as quickly as possible. Learn from your lessons, but forgive yourself so that you can hold on to yourself. Don't give yourself away. Josh?
To a place where we actually use mechanical devices to move him from place to place. And when you put him into bed at night, you had to cradle his head like a baby again because the neck wasn't able to support the weight of the head. The first night that after I put him to bed, he lifted his head off the pillow and came to get the water from me. it brought tears to my eyes, because he had probably been a month losing those muscles. And once we lost those muscles, then that stops us from going out and being part of the community and being with the grandchildren.
Josh, so I want you to understand something. This is not about me. I don't want any kudos. I don't. But I'm telling you that they were just working with us for days. That's all. Days when he was able to do this. Don't you ever underestimate the power that you were given by your Creator to heal and to get your life back, and stop underestimating you. Okay? Stop believing in you. Start knowing in you, knowing that you have the power to heal. Oh, I really want to believe that I can get well. No, you better know you can get well. Okay? You have to know you're going to get well. Don't hope you're going to get well. Know you're going to get well. You need to be there already. A smile on your face would do. That would be a really great start. Practice smiling. Really. You're so much more beautiful when you smile. Josh?
Those kind of things. Now that he can hold his head up again, we're free of the prison of the house. We're free of the prison of having to have things around us continuously just to hold him up straight.
Still going to my grandson's hockey game.
Yes, to be able to get out and do those kind of things, to enjoy the life, because each of us are going to die. And until that point, we want to absolutely enjoy life. And that means being with our family. That means doing things with the grandchildren.
Josh, can you hold the audio? So understand something. Right away, they feel like they're getting their life back. Now they've got hope. So they had hope taken away, because guess what? Today is the best it's going to get. It's only going to get worse. Okay. All right. So understand something. If you go to a practitioner, you are only going to get what that practitioner can offer you. If that practitioner has limiting beliefs, then your chance of healing and thriving is going to be limited. Josh, do we still have a caller? No. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Bear with me, everyone. Can't help myself. I'm even on my phone on the show. What do you think of that? Okay. Is she back? Do we have a caller, Josh?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi,
Hello?
this is Becca.
Hi, Becca. How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Great. Now, Becca, everyone, okay, we'll come back to Greg and we'll come back to Debbie and we'll come back to that story. But Becca right now is at an appointment, and I asked her if she could call because I need you all to understand something, that the word incurable is in the mind, okay? It's not in the heart. It's not in the soul. And Becca, would you like to tell your story and what you were told about your son, and just about how, well, there was no way you were going to believe it, but go ahead. Instead of her believing his story, she made up her own story. So, Becca, would you like to tell it?
Sure. I can do it quickly here. So what happened was my little son started declining at around 8 months, and we started getting him tested for different things. And I'm just going to do a quick little overview. And essentially what they found out was that he had muscle weakness, and they were testing him for doing different genetic testings, and I was doing testing for him at the same time. And so when they were testing for him, I was testing for him, and I found out that Beckett had Lyme disease and a virus called Coxsackie virus, and when it's left untreated, can cause muscle weakness. And then we got genetic testing back from the doctors telling us that Beckett had something called GARS, which simply means like that he would never walk, he would be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life, he would continuously get weaker, and I just chose to keep going on my path. And I started, once I found out I could have Lyme, I flew down to Vancouver and started getting laser treatment for him. And when we brought him down to Vancouver, he could hardly lift his arm. He was so weak, like he couldn't lift his arms up. And by the time we left Vancouver for the first treatment, he was crawling. And so we've just been doing our own treatment on him, and with Dr. Wolfe Health, and he's just progressed so much so that the neurologist that told me that Beckett would never walk and be in the wheelchair for the rest of his life apologized to me and said that they really just don't know what to expect with what he has. And I said to them, I want you to know that I carry that around in my head for 2 years, and don't put a label on someone. If you just don't know, then you're not allowed to label someone. And today we went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, it's time that we start treating Beckett to start using a walker and braces so he can start walking. So it's just been like phenomenal, because we literally started doing treatment in August. So it hasn't even been that long.
Yeah. It's amazing, and you're amazing. And you know what? Don't give up. And it's not called false hope, is it, Becca? It's not false hope, is it? But
No.
how did you find your family and your friends were acting towards you with your crazy way of thinking?
I think that was the hardest part, because they would question everything, and they were like, why are you doing this? And in my, like, I just put like blinders on, and I just didn't care. I was like, I knew that the body can heal itself if you give the body the right components. I knew that if you took away inflammation, it would allow his body to heal, and any outside source that was coming into his body that needed to be removed, that would mean like the Lyme and the Coxsackie virus. We get rid of those. We get rid of any type of allergy he has, meaning like anything that puts inflammation in his body. We will not, we wouldn't give him any foods or anything that would trigger that inflammation. And by doing that, we are allowing his body to heal. And by allowing his body to heal, Beckett is getting better. And no one can deny that Beckett is not getting better, because he is. He's continuously doing new things every day. And it's amazing.
Yeah, we've got pictures of him standing up, pictures of him crawling over things, pushing himself up on all fours. That's the reality. And they said he'd never be able to do any of this.
That's right. They said he would continuously get weaker. He would be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Like, just his diagnosis says that he will get weaker. And he's doing the exact opposite. We got the neurology report back about 2 weeks ago saying Beckett has improved in every capacity available to him. And there's been like absolutely no regressions reported on him.
So here's the deal.
What can you say to that?
Well,
in the report,
you decided that you're not going to be a statistic, and guess what? They weren't lying to you, because they said if you do everything that everybody else has ever done that comes to us, then your son is going to be crippled for the rest of his life. And you just said to yourself, well, I'm going to do everything different that everybody else did coming to you, and I'll have a different life for Becca. Right?
That's right. Yep.
And that's
what we're
line.
doing. And I just know that of the path that we're on, I just know my son's going to walk. Nobody's going to tell me any differently, because we will do anything that we can to help him get him there, and we are.
And
he's getting there.
And tell everybody where you're going, where you're coming to. You're coming here, right?
Oh, and so I'm heading down there. Beckham and I and my other little daughter is heading down there at the end of May, and I'm going to be getting my deep tissue massage certification, because Beckett has contractures, and so that way I am able to massage him every day.
Well, you won't be massaging him. You'll be doing deep tissue on him, which is a little bit different. You'll be doing deep tissue, not massage.
Yes.
But the reality is,
but
the reality is guess who's going to become his full-time practitioner and actually get him walking again? You.
His mom.
That's right. And guess what? That's called the Braveheart hero story. And guess what? Everybody out there, every one of you could do this. Just reach down inside and remember who created you, what you were created for, and you came down here for the adventure. And believe it or not, somewhere you signed up, Becca, for this adventure. And you know what? Kudos to you. You're doing the game, and you're doing it right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
and thanks for all your encouragement and help and everything.
You're amazing. And
amazing.
When you walked in and came to us the first time, understand something, everybody. Not everybody's going to do this with their child. But you know what? we have Becca here that came and the fire was in her, and she said, it doesn't matter. I've come up against family who don't believe me. I've come up against friends. I go to the doctors. They tell me that it's never going to be. I'm wasting my time, wasting my money, and here we are. And how does it feel to be?
Yep.
How does it feel to be the hero of the story?
You know, I just, I don't even have words because it doesn't even matter to me about being a hero. What it matters to me is that I'm doing the very best for my son, and, you know, like, and for us, like, God is everything, and God has just led me to where I needed to be, and I just give him all the glory in that, and my son is making strides that are just, he shouldn't be doing, and if you truly believe in something and you work for it, and you seek and you look for the answers, you are going to find them.
You are.
You just have to do the work.
Yeah, but now people have a Braveheart hero that they actually did this. You know what? You actually did this, and you know what? When somebody breaks a record in the Olympics, how many other people break the record that year? Okay, so understand
no
something.
one else.
You are a record breaker, and you're my hero. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome, sweetie. And
really appreciate that.
And we'll see you when you get here.
And thanks. Sounds good. Thanks for all you do, and it's
All
just amazing.
All right,
Couldn't do it without you.
Okay. Bye.
Have a good.
So, anyways, yeah. So they came to see us, and this is where we're going. And it's not about us; it's about her. Wow, what an amazing person! I mean, totally amazing. And I want everybody to get this. Guess what? Okay, be a rule breaker. All right. Let's not just bend the rules. Let's break the rules. Okay. Because think about who are the rule makers. Okay. Nobody's making any rules for me. Nobody's making any rules for her. Let's go and listen to the rest of the recording, could we? Thank you, Josh.
As we lost the strength, you lose your ability to do those kind of things. Yes. So as each step, as we've been able to be able to see him take his hand and flip it from palm up to palm down, it's amazing. Because again, you don't realize how much you value just that until you don't have it. And in the last year and a half, he lost all of that ability. And to not just have the faith ourselves, but to see our children and our grandchildren have the faith. Our son comes in probably once a week, and the first thing he asks is, "Dad, can you scratch your nose yet?" Because he knows that there's a day coming when Greg's going to be able to lift that hand up again and touch his face. It's been a journey, and to watch my husband, who's helped everyone his entire life, to go to someone who needed help was a very humbling experience for him. It was, again, something that God's grace took him through and showed him how to be on the receiving end of that kind of help. But it's been wonderful to see how the community has not only been with us through all this, but is noticing the changes. As we go to hockey games, different ones are saying, "He can move his hand again. Did you see that? He moved his hand." So it's not just me who's noticing these kind of things. Our home care workers, as they come in to do exercises, they're noticing he moved his foot today. He's able to resist me. He wasn't able to do any of those kind of things over the last few months.
In the last month here, I'm dreaming about stepping up and walking again. That's what I dream about at night. I dream about walking out of that chair and doing things with my family like I used to. That's what I dream about. So I'm excited.
Josh, can you hold it for a second? So, never stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming. You know, I used to get in trouble when I was younger for being a daydreamer. Well, I daydream all day long now. I'm in the present moment, but I dream about the things I want, and I know that I deserve them, and I know that I am totally loved. And never stop dreaming about anything. Your dreams will come true, but you have to put massive action. And what is that? That's passion. That's purpose. That's your heart behind this. And you can't let anybody cause you to waver here. You know, it's a knowing, not a believing. It's a knowing, not a believing. Okay? And understand something. Everything starts off with a dream. Think about the things that you wanted, whether it's a house or a car or a relationship or anything else. It started off with a dream. It started off with an image. What's the image you hold for yourself? Where do you see yourself? How much do you love yourself? Oh my gosh, people have so much trouble with this love thing. It's like ridiculous. I have to repeat myself all the time. It's about self-love, total self-love. Do it yourself. Fill up your own heart. Shine that light on everyone else, because giving is more better than receiving. And I just want to give. I want to show people. I want to light the way. We need you. We need you to buy into this. We need you to buy into you. Josh?
Really looking forward to it, Darrell.
I think for us right now, as a couple and as a family, we had come to a place where we had resigned ourselves to the fact that the end was very close. We have an older vehicle right now that we figured would get us through. We're looking at buying a different van to transport him with, because he wants to get going again. And as a family, we're willing to.
I'm really excited about moving forward.
All right. So there it is. They are moving forward. Okay. So since that time that we did that, Sage went to the family and he taught 5 of them how to do the deep tissue so that they could work on each other and they can work on Greg. Okay. Because let me tell you something. Okay. You know, I'm in my early 60s, and when I'm in my early 90s, I'm going to have the same flexibility, because it's all about displaced calcium that is leaving your bones and going into your organs and tissues, that we can help you get it all back. I mean, you can totally reverse your osteoporosis. And understand something. If you get all the calcium back into your bones, because you never lost it, it's still in your body. But when the calcium gets displaced from your bones, it blocks circulation, it blocks energy, it causes a lot of trouble. And the reason why you're pulling it out all the time is because of your beliefs, because you're terrorizing yourself, because you're allowing the media, you're allowing the government, you're allowing the medical system, you're allowing all the systems to terrorize you. You know, you're allowing your family to terrorize you. Don't tell me your family doesn't terrorize you, because they do. And don't tell me that you don't terrorize yourself, because you do. And you terrorize yourself and you allow everybody else to terrorize you, because you have these limiting beliefs that you believe that you're captive. And because everybody else is doing it and everybody else is allowing it. And that's the reality. What a beautiful earth this is. But guess what? If you don't understand that you need to be the master of your emotions, and that your beliefs are the only incurable thing about you, then that's the reality. That's going to be your reality, and it's going to continue. All right, so we are taking calls, so if anybody wants to call. But what I'd like to do now is I want to play one more audio for you about limiting beliefs. Can we play that, please? So, before we do, let me set the stage. So this is a lady that's going to go to see one of the top surgeons in New York, because she has an L4, L5, which is a lumbar problem, which is usually caused because of a bowel problem. Did you get that? Because when you have a weak bowel, you reabsorb your own waste. When you have a weak bowel, you have a weak core, which is your abdomen. And when that happens, then you use your back to lift yourself off the toilet, put yourself in the car, get yourself off the bed, pick up the box at the door, to bend over. You're always using your back. Well, your back is not meant for that. It's supposed to be your core. Your core is supposed to be the strongest muscle group, and 85% of your immune system there is there because of the good bacteria in that core. All right? So anyways, so now she's got an L4, L5 problem, and let's listen to this for a couple of minutes. We won't play the whole thing, but I want you to understand something, that if you go to people with limiting beliefs, understand, the doctor's not lying, but the doctor has limiting beliefs. He doesn't know about Wolfe Deep Tissue. He doesn't know that I can go in there in probably 20 minutes and release that scar tissue and allow the blood flow to come back in so that the scar tissue will become connected tissue so that she'll have the flow through her spine again, because L4 and L5 is near your root chakra, which is near your sacrum. And that's called a sacral pump that pumps the spinal fluid up to your occipital. Okay. And you have an occipital pump and a sacral pump, and your spinal fluid does this because your spinal fluid carries information. That's what it does. It fuels and takes information to your brain. All right. So it's root chakra, which is your pelvis, up to your brain. And that keeps happening. And that's the telephone pole. But if you go to a surgeon, what's he going to do? He's either going to do nothing or he's going to do surgery. Okay. So understand that. So you can't expect to get a different answer or a health answer from a surgeon, because surgeons are not in the health business. They're in the medical business. Do you understand that? So when you go to a doctor, he's in the medical business. He's not in the health business. I'm in the health business. Okay? Because listen to me. To be the word doctor, do you know what the word doctor means? It means to teach. Look it up. Okay? The medical system, doctors are not real doctors. They're physicians. If you go and you take a look at the explanation of them, it doesn't even say the word doctor. They're not doctor. They're physicians. All right. So a doctor teaches. Why does a doctor teach? Because a doctor will teach his patient so that the patient will become their own practitioner, their own doctor, as Hippocrates said, who was supposed to be the father of all of medicine, right? So that's what a doctor does. A doctor teaches so that people can learn to create the perfect day from the minute they wake up until they go to bed, so they don't get into this problem of becoming a statistic. Josh, can you please play it?
Okay, we're ready. Okay, so what is my back condition today?
You have severe
August.
stenosis between L4 and L5.
Can you hold it for a second? So stenosis just means that she has no circulation. Why couldn't he just say, you have no circulation between L4 and L5 because it is calcified, crystallized, and you have scar tissue? No, we've got to stay stenosis. How many people out there right now know that what the word stenosis means? That you just don't have any circulation and it's blocked off. So when somebody speaks Greek to you, ask them to speak English to you and explain it properly. That's the first thing. Because when somebody speaks a different language, it makes you feel stupid. Like you can't look after yourself. Now, that's not a nice thing to do. But I'm not saying he's not trying to be nice. He's been taught to speak like that. And when you spend that much money, go to school for that long, they have a whole different group of words. That's all I can say. Josh?
The nerves, here's the white stripe is the nerves. You can see they run continuously there, and then right here it completely disappears. And that's where the issue is. This should
Okay,
run
can you hold that? So that's where the issue is. So you can see the white strip, that's the nerves. He's right. Okay, they completely disappear. Do you know why they disappear? I just told you. They're cocooned in calcium, crystallization, and scar tissue. And guess what? We can remove that. So why don't we just pull the fibers apart and, okay, by using our deep tissue method, Wolfe Deep Tissue, and then why don't we use the SAC ionic calcium, the Doc of Detox ionic SAC calcium, and allow the calcium to come back into the bones where it belongs in the first place. And then why don't we bring up the vibration with the perfect day diet, and maybe even use some fasting to actually create stem cells? Why not? Go ahead, Josh.
Continuously all the way up and down. You have no room for the nerves. Essentially the nerves, if like somebody's coming in and choking them, they're losing their blood supply and they're dying. And when your
Josh, the nerves aren't dying. Okay? The nerves aren't dying. I'm telling you right now, they're not dying. That is a falsehood. Now, is he lying? I don't think so. But he doesn't know about reversing and turning scar tissue back into beautifully connected tissue with proper blood flow, that now the nerves would actually get the signal. So if they're dammed off, they're jammed off. So, but they're not dying. Okay? When your foot goes numb, is it dead? No. You cut the circulation off because of the way you were sitting on your foot. Okay? All right. So you can say to yourself, well, he doesn't know. Well, I think I do know. I've worked on thousands, tens of thousands of people, okay, with back problems, with ankle problems, hip problems, people that were already booked for surgery. And then guess what? We don't do this because we're trying to be smart or something like that. But we offer a money back guarantee you're not going to go to surgery. Is that because we're great? No, it's because you're created by God Almighty and the body heals itself. All we do is we just orchestrate the body to be able to get the nutrition and get rid of the toxins and to bring up the energy, because we are frequency beings. We already know that scientifically. We're more light and frequency and energy than we are anything else. Even though you're looking at this physical body, it's still only 1/10,000th of me, and I can prove that scientifically, but that's not why we're here today. Josh.
Like you said, it's gone numb. That means that you've got a permanent now deficit in that foot.
Okay, no, she does not have a permanent deficit in her foot. What she has is she has scar tissue and crystallization that's probably choking off the sciatic nerve or another nerve that's related. Okay, so understand, what is sciatic? People either have pain or they have numbness in their legs. They can't put their heel down. All of this is about that. First, you get neuritis before you get neuralgia, and then it numbs itself out. That's right, because if you have itis, that's inflammation. Inflammation causes calcium to come from the bones and causes the body to make what we call fibrin. The fibrin comes to the area, and between the calcium and the fibrin, it walls off this inflammatory area because it says, wow, this person does not know what they're doing. They're not getting the right therapy. And if what we got to do is block this off so the inflammation doesn't spread anymore, or the cells don't become mutated, and also if the inflammation continues, it's going to drain the immune system. Like the last time you had a migraine headache, or you had a pain, or your guts were in knots, or you had inflammation somewhere in your body and it lasted for a few hours, you were exhausted. You couldn't even think straight. And that's what happens. After a while, if you have this inflammation, you don't know how to treat inflammation, and you don't know how to treat pain properly, you don't even want to live anymore. You don't even have the desire to live. And that's what I always ask people when they come with a chronic disease. Do you want to live? Do you have any plans for your future? How much do you want to live? Are you ready to take massive action? And do you think we can get your family to drink this Kool-Aid of, yes, there's more than hope, okay? We know we can get well. Because teamwork makes the dream work. Josh?
The length of time that it's been choked, that portion of the nerve is dead.
Okay, no, not buying it. Not buying it. Not buying it, okay? It is not true. Okay. God did not create something so broken as that, and that's a reality. But it is true for this gentleman because he doesn't do what we do. He's never learned about what we do. He's never taken any deep tissue training. Okay, all right? And he's never had any nutritional training, and he definitely doesn't know anything about detoxification. If you call surgery and removing something from the body detoxing, then I don't think he knows he doesn't know detox, all right? Okay, so just remember something. When you go to ask somebody's opinion, make sure that they don't have limited beliefs. Make sure that they believe in your healing, okay? And make sure that they're going to empower you. Make sure that when you leave that office, that person is going to have a smile on your face, and they're going to be going, we got this, honey. We got this. Not, we lost this. All right.
And that's highly unlikely to come back.
Highly unlikely.
If you want to make sure that that doesn't happen to the rest of your symptoms and worse, that's why we recommend surgery to decompress the nerves, allow them to have a normal blood supply again by having normal space.
1 second. First of all, if they decompress the nerves, they're not going to have a normal blood supply. What he meant is any of the area that hasn't been having the surgery and it hasn't been fused and decompressed, that will not have proper circulation. Okay, talk to a few people who have back surgery. It's not always a pretty story, okay? I say there's nothing wrong with going to surgery. My daughter would not be alive if there wasn't surgeons and physicians. So understand, we need them. They definitely have a part to play. But when they play in your daily health, you can become a 911 emergency too fast, too fast. Okay, they're there for emergencies. They're not there for chronic care. And the reason why you have to go for chronic care and you've got to go for these 911 surgeries and these emergencies is because you don't know how to care for yourself. You don't. You believe in healthcare, not self-care. Okay, you believe in love, but not self-love. Are you respecting yourself or disrespecting yourself? Are you making decisions that don't honor your body and honor you? Hey, let me tell you something. We're taught to dishonor ourselves. We're taught to disrespect ourselves. We're taught to run hate programs because guess what? It drives the economy. Tell me it doesn't. Tell me that if you were to take total responsibility for your health and you knew how to create the perfect day in every way from the minute you woke up until you went to bed, that you would actually need this. You would need surgery. You would need toxic drugs. You tell me that you would need that. Tell me that you would even need psychotherapy. You know what? When you don't like yourself, you'll drive yourself insane. All right? The many moods of Mary. Okay? And no offense to any Marys out there. Josh?
And in addition to that, because the reason why the nerves in your case are getting squeezed like this is because of something called a spondylolisthesis, where the arthritis has caused the bone to slip. We have to...
1 second, Josh. Boom. Arthritis. Arthritis means inflammation in the joint. That's not a disease. That's because you've got infection in there and irritation in there. Let's get rid of the infection that causes it, and then guess what? You get rid of the inflammation, you'll get rid of the destruction of the bone and the tissue. And remember something, it's inflammation that hides cancer. So that's why you can't get rid of cancer until you get rid of the inflammation in the body, but you got to get rid of the inflammation in the mind first, right? Wow. The only place you're going to find peace is in here, trust me. If you find peace in here, you'll have it out here, okay? All right, so what he said arthritis. He also said a slipped disc. She doesn't have a slipped disc. She's got inflammation, and the inflammation is pushing on the disc, so it makes the disc look like it's bulging. As soon as you get rid of the inflammation and you get rid of the calcium that's building up in the tissues that's causing it to be thicker, and the scar tissue that's causing it to be thicker, we'll have that disc just be right aligned perfectly. I challenge you to challenge me. Every health professional out there that's listening right now, my phone number is 855-900-4544, extension 7. And I'm telling you, I want to be challenged by every one of you professionals that believe that I am what? Misleading people? Causing people to have what? Limiting beliefs? Or am I trying to give back people their power and tell them to stop giving it away? And that we actually don't need all these practitioners trying to help us. That we are the greatest practitioner for ourselves. You know, I want you to come to me to never have to come back to me or to anyone else. Trust me, the economy will be fine. Does it look like we're running out of sick people? All you practitioners out there that feel you're not going to make enough money to pay the mortgage? The reality is that guess what? 9 out of 10 people now have an autoimmune disease. How great. Do you think we're going to run out of business? I think we've created enough business for ourselves. Let's now find our integrity, okay? All right? Let's find our integrity. The planet's in trouble, but more so, human beings are in trouble. And what kind of planet are we going to leave? Or what kind of beliefs are we going to leave for our children's children? Oh my God, help us, please. Go ahead.
Screws to bring the bones back into place.
Okay, they're going to use screws to bring the bones back into place. So, okay, so I'm going to tell you something. Lori and I, we were in Texas. Okay, so about 7 months ago, Lori fractured her ankle. Guess what? Osteopenia, right? Well, now Lori's been on Merigen, and she's been on Merigen for 7 months. And guess what she did? She fractured her tibia, and she actually fractured it with a 1/16 of an inch fracture, which is like, that's pretty big. And it was 4 inches long. And then the fibula had like a C fracture in it. They said, you touch the ground, that's it. We won't be able to help you. They said, we got to rush you into surgery right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull back all the meat off the bones, okay? And then we're going to get 2 plates. We're going to screw those 2 plates in. Well, there's no way that's going to happen. There's no way that's ever going to happen, because guess what? You don't put foreign objects into your body and not think you're going to be sick forever. Okay, that's just like them putting mesh into people when they have inguinal hernias. Guess what? You just cause yourself one big problem. You don't put a wire fence in your groin, your root chakra, where your ovaries are, where your prostate is, and not think you're going to not have inflammation down there and contamination and maybe mutation. Let me tell you something, okay? I have hear horror stories every day. Just yesterday, how there was the gentleman who's coming into me because he's actually came into me because he has cancer, right? And he has a tumor right here. Well, I actually worked on the tumor and helped pull it apart yesterday, which gave him relief. He says, I can think clearer now than I can think before. Well, yeah, because it's like right here on the vagus nerve, and it's pushing on the vagus nerve, so he's not in a parasympathetic state. He's in a sympathetic state, and by pulling that apart, allowing the circulation, he's now in a parasympathetic state. I just did that yesterday. And he says, oh my God, if we could have just been here. My daughter, she had so much pain in her hip. She didn't know what to do about it. And now I know that you could have helped her. And you know what they did? You know what they did? They actually, she's young still, and they went and they gave her, did surgery, and they gave her a stainless steel one. Well, I don't think it was stainless steel. He said it was, but it probably was titanium. So now she has a titanium hip, and he goes, guess what? She has constant inflammation and constant pain in there. We have another client that had that happen, and guess what? They went and put it in, and they put it in an inch too low, lower than the other hip, and she's in continual pain all the time. I'm not trying to down these people. I'm trying to tell you, let's give the body a chance to heal first. But guess what? People don't even know about us. They don't even know they can even do this. People don't even know the body can heal anymore. We have been so badly brainwashed, okay? And that's because, well, for one thing, take a look who's running all the commercials on radio, TV, newspaper, and look at how your family talks to you. Did you try that drug? Did you try that drug? Maybe you need to go get surgery. Every time a little something happens in your body, oh my God, you better take the kids. You better take your mother. You better take your father. We all got to go. Wow. Everything is about panic mode, isn't it? It's all about fear. And look what they've done to you. Where were doctors before the 1900s? Oh, where were they? The doctor was in herbal school. He was an acupuncturist. He was a chiropractor. All right? He was a therapist of some sort. Yeah, okay. We could really get into this story, but we're not going to. Can we play the audio?
And we have to put a little spacer that sits in between there to allow the bones to fuse together.
Wow. Okay, so they're going to put a spacer in there, which is a foreign object, and a foreign object causes irritation and inflammation, and it always does. And it'll eventually cause mutation somewhere in the body, wherever your weakest link is, okay? All right? You get a sliver in your hand, and it'll get infected, right? You can't put a foreign object in, okay? This is not the $1 Million Man, okay? This is not the Bionic Woman time. None of this. You don't got to understand, why do they bring these certain movies out? Is it so cool? It's just like, where did all this artificial intelligence come from in the last few years? Wait till you see when I do the 5G blue light webinar tomorrow and on Thursday. And if you don't get to watch it, you'll want to go and watch it on my website, or go to the Doc of Detox library and read, okay, the blue light 5G toxicity guide. You'll want to do this if you have any love for yourself. You're going to want to do it, because you're going to want to know how to protect you and your family. Okay, so when somebody gets really sick in your family, would you wish you would have put the seatbelt on, or are you going to just freak out later because you didn't do your homework? You were given a body by God Almighty, and who's responsible for it? Well, they told you they could look after it. How's that working? I can't look after your body. I could never do that. But I can show you how. I can show you how. Josh?
That's the solution.
That's the solution.
Will this go away?
The numbness? No, that's permanent.
That's permanent.
So
The numbness is
even
permanent.
I understood that.
Yeah.
But I was asking, if I had the procedure done, will that?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Okay.
Josh, that'll be good. That's enough. Okay. So, what's this show called? Incurable stands for limiting beliefs. You know what? We're doing a course right now here, at the International Training Institute of Health. It's attached to the Doc of Detox clinic. And we've got 18 practitioners here. And I'll tell you right now, we'll bring them on over the next few days. And I'll tell you what, tomorrow I'll do a Facebook posting, and my Facebook posting to them would be, do you think you really knew you had limited beliefs before you came here? And what do you think you're limited by when it comes to creating the life you've always wanted? And they're going to tell you, maybe they don't know how to do it yet, but they're going to tell you that they know that they have unlimited potential to do anything. And that's the one thing I believe, and I know that every day I wake up, I know that I'm going to be able to do more, because I am working on the only thing that we can grow. And the only way that we're going to grow is consciously. And if you could finally understand that every cell in your body has a consciousness, not just your brain, every cell in your body. And seeing that every cell in your body has a consciousness, it picks up your beliefs, whether they're empowering or disempowering. And whether you want to believe this or not, but the beliefs you have, when they come together, we have this key belief. And those beliefs create a frequency, and those frequencies come together to create a healing or to create a disease. As I've stated before, two can come together in love and create a baby. One person can terrorize themselves enough to create cancer. Now, I know that the world has become more toxic, but the reality is, as long as you remain a victim in your mind, you will become a victim everywhere else, to the point of things being stolen from you, like your health, your wealth, your peace of mind. I don't know how else to tell you this, but you've come down to a real adventure. I like to call planet Earth I like to call it a life-challenging, fun-filled adventure for the whole family. The reality is though, that your beliefs are based on your family's beliefs. Take a look at your parents and take a look at their conditions, and then understand something. What beliefs have you changed for yourself so that you don't create the same reality? And understand something. For your parents, the planet wasn't as toxic as it is now. So if you don't get rid of a good portion of the beliefs on a physical and emotional level, then you've got to change your personality. You're never going to change your reality. That's what it really boils down to. Understand, we created the Doc of Detox library, and you can go into the library, and if you go in there and you read the Perfect Day Guide, and you read the Fasting for Perfect Health Guide, and you do the Braveheart Way Guide and the 12 Loving Steps, that's a good place to start. And then if you have any questions, look, you can call me. I'll get to you. You know, call 855-900-4544. And my extension is 5. I'll get back to you. But understand something, but I need to see you, okay? I need to see you take some action. And then I want to see you take action every day. Okay? Because you deserve it. When you start letting the universe know, letting your creator know what you want, you know, teamwork makes the dream work. Okay? So I hope you've enjoyed today's Incurable stands for limiting beliefs, and I hope that you're going to watch and come to all these shows that we have, because these shows were built for you, and I hope that, you know, they're empowering you and empowering your family. But understand, your family just needs one hero, one Braveheart hero, somebody to draw the loving line and say, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I am not going to have that type of relationship with you anymore. I am not going to eat that anymore. No, I'm going to allow the fever take its course. Unless it is in a deadly situation, you need to. I'm going to find out why I'm in pain instead of trying to tell my body to shut up with drugs. I want to find out why I have the inflammation. Okay? We do not get sick because of lack of drugs. Okay? Think about that. But we will get really sick if we do too many drugs. Right? So the biggest thing and the most beautiful thing you'll ever do is to fall in love with yourself, and to fall in love with yourself totally, and let the rest of the family know that it's okay. Because we have been taught that we should get our love from everywhere else, and that self-love is a selfish act. Well, it's not. And I hope that you'll really give this some thought. And I want to thank you for joining me. And if you can join me tomorrow, it would be great. And just let us know how we can help you, and let us know what you'd like to see on these shows, because this is about you. This is about your life. And like I said, it feels a lot much better to give than to take. And I'd like to help you to give you back your power so that you can become the hero of your story. God bless. Have a beautiful day. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.